Shut up and sit down.
Doing pretty good, Michael. How are you? Sure. So we only have one street stock tonight, Alex Cofford, and followed by that is the MX5 field, which will be led by Alex Albert. In second place will be Mark Burt. Third place is Tom Ellison. Fourth place, Matthew Ragsdale. Fifth place, Jay Sofiniak. Sixth place, Joseph Mayer. Seventh place, Scott Grinnell. Eighth place is Corey Barrett. Aaron Thorpe is in ninth. Benjamin Shout is 10th. And Christopher Flaming is in 11th. Then you have Brandon Guy in 12th. And Wyatt Foster, who will probably be the mover of this race, 13th. Wyatt was a late join, and I expect him to be driving through the Miata field to give Alex Albert a good battle. Big off track there. I don't know if he's going to get a official time on this one.
Shut up and sit down.
So as we count down, Derby, is there anything that you'll be looking forward to tonight? Unfortunately, I do not. I'd imagine probably at least 2 pit stops for the Miata, and the street stock, not sure, not even matter. But believe you can do. I mean, you might be able to do it in one, but I'm not sure on the fuel limitations if they have any of those in place. Yep. I'd be curious to know how many of the drivers have done their research, figure that out. Yeah, tires. I'd imagine the tires in the Miata you'd probably be able to pass on, but of course with the refueling, taking a full tank, might do it at the same time. So, you familiar with that at all, Derby? We start our pace lap. So apologies if there was some technical difficulty, but here we are, following behind the pace lap, VIR. Got the lone street stock of Alex Cofford in front. Behind him is Alex Albert, leading the Miata field.
Resplendent in their huge-ass livery. Alex with his signature pink colors there.
Oh yes, no missing those bright wheels.
Thomas Ellison, also in the... Oh, not tonight. He's in the England livery.
Ah, some national pride.
Yeah, I think he's still trying to, or still hopeful that England can bring the cup home, unfortunately. That's not going to happen.
Well, I think we can all agree that the Phillies are, in fact, the worst hockey team ever.
Oh, 100%.
That part, at least, hasn't. Going to the back of the field, looks like Foster's leaving a little bit of a healthy gap. Him and the cars in front. Having a few off-tracks practice. Hopefully he's gotten those out of his systems and can get clean drive through and give the leaders some action. Miata field normally very spicy. Lots of overtaking. None of these guys really have any interest in just cruising second place. It's typically they're always looking for the overtake. It's quite exciting. Alex Albert wisely backing off of Cofford and stuck. Stock's obviously very front on long straightaways, but not able to take the corners as quickly. So, very wise of him to back off so he can clean turn one. As we come across the front straightaway, the safety car is in. And we are green flag. Turn one, Mark Burt and Tom Ellison. Almost going too wide there. Starting to fall in line though. And Wyatt looks to be up about 3 or 4 places. He is, up another. He will definitely be looking to get up there with Tom and Alex to fight for the win.
Yeah, you know he's going to be fast. He always is. And he's going to push through these slower drivers without any hesitation, I guarantee.
I guarantee that as well. Tonight he's in the Miata. Normally we have a couple more street stocks to play with, but unfortunately low turnout. Makes sense to just have a close battle with the Miata.
All right, let's go ahead and welcome in another member to the broadcast team. Aaron, how are we doing tonight? Aaron is apparently muted. All right, maybe Aaron can figure out how to unmute himself, and then we'll hear from him. Meanwhile, we're following along with Wyatt Foster as he's going to try to pass two cars right here.
Wasting no time to catch up to the front as Thomas Ellison has made it past Mark Burt. Now a huge-ass 1-2. Wyatt is on their tail. I'd imagine Tom and Alex will be constantly looking for the first position, which should give Wyatt a good chance to catch up.
I'm sorry, apparently Aaron was not quite ready. He'll be in the booth in just a few minutes.
Time was never his strong suit, but we'll give him excuses. Okay, and it looks like Wyatt has caught up to the Miata of Mark Burt. So I'd expect things to get pretty spicy next laps.
Yeah, he's already back up with the leading four, so I imagine he'll be mixed up in that group pretty quickly. We'll ride along with Wyatt, as he goes up the S's here. Right on the tail of Mark Burt. This whole group is separated by about a second, actually.
But not for long, as Wyatt Foster is really closing the distance here in this kink. Right on the bumper of Mark Burt. Okay, looks like he's going to back off a little bit, and I thought he might be going for a pass there. Waiting for the back straightaway.
It's a dangerous place to try to make a pass.
I agree, but, you know, I wouldn't be too surprising as we see Alex Crawford in the street stock pulling off the unused old pit lane. And it looks like Tom's going to have a go at Alex Albert going into roller coaster.
Oh, yeah. Alex Crawford just took a little break there.
And, Wyatt has made it by Mark Burt there. And, now we have your top three in the point standings as well. Of course, the winner of the ChampCar race division will be getting a free entry into the ChampCar race, which is a great value and a great reason to participate. There are both an Eastern club, what we're watching now, and a Western club. We see Thomas Ellison getting passed by Wyatt Foster there on the inside. And Mark Burt, but Mark back off a little bit.
You're muted.
I'm not sure how to fix that. Okay. We are riding along with Wyatt Foster as he gets on the bumper of Alex Albert.
Alex and Wyatt are both ChampCar drivers in real life. Alex is a ChampCar team owner.
As is Thomas Ellison. So
yeah, well, co-owners, of course. They're all.
Yeah.
Well, they weren't right on camera at the time. I'm sorry. Tom is also a team.
Yes, yes. But suffice to say, this will be some good practice for the race. That'll be in 1 week's time on Sunday, or on Saturday and Sunday.
That's right. I'll be there as well. You'll be there. We'll all be there.
if you're in to that end, as we watch Wyatt Foster make it past Alex Albert roller coaster, a little bit dicey on that chop. We just like to invite anyone out there that will be at the ChampCar race to just look for the giant 8J and the white trailer. Come along and say hi.
Silver trailer.
Oh, silver trailer. Sorry. We have had some updates. Rest assured, the HJ is huge, and you will be able to spot it.
Yeah, you can see it from a mile away. This is the best race of the event right now. Wyatt, Alex, and Tom are, under a blanket here with Mark Burt trailing closely behind.
Go for the rest of the field. Yeah, it looks like there's quite a few gaps. It seems that Alex Cofford has dropped from the race. Certainly with no one else on track, it's not quite.
Yeah, it's probably not a lot of fun to just go out and race by yourself.
Alex Albert moving over, looking like he almost was going to give a move into the S's. It'd be a very risky move. Wisely backs off. Possibly just trying to give Wyatt a little bit of a scare. Down into Oak Tree. I expect some changes of position here as we go along the back straight. The draft in the Miata is quite powerful.
Strangely enough, for a car that doesn't have a lot of aero on it. But
it looks like, yeah, it is quite frustrating at times when you're racing. You have a second and a half on the guy behind you, but he's still catching you in that draft. And we continue watching Alex Albert trailing closely behind Wyatt Foster, then followed by co-owner Thomas Ellison, yellow Miata of Mark Burt. All of these drivers within a few tenths per their lap times. It's actually Mark Burt running at 209s.
Yeah, Mark with the fastest lap of the race. I don't know if it was a fully clean lap, but he's got the fastest lap in terms of time so far.
Certainly, again, speaking to the power of the draft, Miata. And Alex Albert closes the distance into Oaks Tree. Exit the most important part of that corner as we come onto the back straight. All right, and Thomas Ellison having a little bit of an off hog pen, kind of easy to do, but he's not going to lose a whole lot of time as Mark Burt real close.
Let's take a little look at a little battle that's going on further back in the field. The number 66 of Benjamin Shout and the number 69 of Corey Barrett. Corey is right on to Benjamin's bumper here. Looks like another little battle right in front of them, too. Scott Grinnell and Jay Sofaniak. They're close as well.
And Christopher Flaming coming out of the pits. Not sure what happened there. Probably a off-track excursion. I believe the ChampCar settings are 1 fast repair.
I believe he was actually just a late starter.
Oh,
is what that looks like.
Okay. Well, certainly with 2 hours, anything can happen.
He is only 5 laps down. If he drives it like a Banshee, he may be able to make up all 5 laps. We've got battles all over the track right now. We got the lead battle coming down the back straight here. Foster leading Albert, Ellison leading Burt.
Just goes to show there's a wide range of skill levels here in the ChampCar Endurance Series, and no matter your skill, there's someone likely that you can race with. Alex Albert making it too wide in the roller coaster with Wyatt Foster. Expect to see this Alex entire race. And Wyatt, for that matter. Neither driver likes to trail behind the other.
No, they're both super competitive, and they'll both probably admit to that. I don't know Wyatt personally, but I do know Alex, and he's a competitor.
Yeah. It looks like Wyatt may not have had a good run off of the hog pen as Thomas Ellison goes on the inside, and that looks very close.
Ellison was close, but just not close enough.
Looks like Ellison wisely backed off a little bit to give Foster some space, and you know, like we've said, with a 2-hour race, we're only to the 19th minute here. Plenty of time to make up these positions.
14th minute, but close.
Ah, okay.
Take a look back at Scott Grinnell and Jay Sofaniak battling it out here through the S's.
I'll sort of follow up on the other battle that we were watching. Corey Barrett has made it past Benjamin Bell. Corey is now up in 8th place.
That's right, we just flipped over to them as you said that. Oh, there's another huge-ass car mixed up into the field there. Chris Flamian, after starting late. He's running right in front of... Excuse me, running right in front of the...
Oh, and I'm sorry, Derby, but we should catch up with the leaders here as they go too wide once again into roller coaster. Alex Albert, Wyatt Foster. These guys are really putting on a show.
It does look like, well, maybe not. It looked like Wyatt got a pretty decent run off of Hogpen right there, but you know, Alex is closing that gap just a little bit.
By a bit. Good.
It's still following along with the leaders here. Wyatt Foster and Alex Albert follow along with their speeds and their gap and their previous laps there. Wyatt driving pretty hard, bouncing out on the curbs.
All right, so once again, going into the roller coaster, Alex Albert looking to make it too wide. Does so, but has to back off as Wyatt comes over. Next section in Hog, very easy to get wrong. Very hard to get right.
Yeah, Wyatt definitely did not get it 100% right that time, and Alex is right on his bumper.
Yeah, it looked like Wyatt went off course just a little bit, bouncing around, and gonna make it a relatively easy pass for Alex to go into turn 1. But I suspect Wyatt's not gonna give up easy, going in on the inside. Now Alex Albert forcing the issue on the inside. Very tricky corner to take too wide. Wisely backs off.
Yeah, the only thing that's going to do is get Thomas and Mark right into that battle.
Yeah, I'd say...
Not that they weren't already, but yeah, they're definitely going to get closer and closer.
Yeah, I was about to say, I think they're already too close for comfort.
You can keep an eye on that for a second. We'll check out Scott Grinnell and Jay Sofaniak. This battle seems close, but pretty static. I don't know that anybody's going anywhere. Meanwhile, we've got a whole little group of cars back here. It looks like we've got Corey Barrett, followed by Christopher Flamian, still 5 laps down, followed by Benjamin Shout and Joseph Marr. They're all battling real close right here. Flamian is running a fair bit faster than any of these three, so I imagine he'll find his way through and see if he can make some time up. Still has an hour 40. He's got a lot of time to make up.
Yeah. I don't think he'll be fighting for the win, but he can definitely finish within the points, I think.
All right, for real this time, let's go ahead and welcome into the booth. Aaron, how are you? Aaron Thacker, you there?
Yes, I'm here. I apologize, you guys. I was just saying I really apologize for the delay here. The facilities at VIR, absolutely fantastic. But I accidentally locked myself in the bathroom for the last 30 minutes. So I've been listening to the race. It sounded really exciting. But, guys, I'm glad to be back in the booth. I've unlocked myself. And I'm excited to finish the next, hour and 39 minutes of this race.
From one booth to another, eh, Aaron?
Hey, man. That's the truth.
Oh, and for watching Christopher Flamian, but we had Joseph Mayer go off course there in that 4-way battle. So, Aaron, outside of being stuck in the bathroom for 30 minutes, how's the rest of the VIR track looking? Aaron?
These guys are really going out here. I'm watching Alex, Albert, and Wyatt here at the very front of the race, and these guys are pretty much going at since the start of the series, right? And it doesn't look like that's going to slow down at all this race either. Even with an hour and 39 minutes left, they are pushing really, really hard.
Yeah, every time you watch Alex, Albert, and Wyatt Foss, you think it's a sprint race, and you realize you still have an hour to go. These guys clearly not going to fall in line at all.
Yeah, I really don't think Alex has more than one speed, which is, for lack of a better term, balls to the wall all the time. And I think Wyatt is equally competitive with Alex. So these two are going to go at it. I imagine they'll keep it clean. But as I said, we got a long, long way to go. Need some responsible driving from both these two, which I do expect will continue.
Yes, respectable and fast driving, what I expect to see out of it. And, certainly makes for a good broadcast. So we applaud their efforts.
Hey, Justin, like I said, I did my best to, listen to the race from the bathroom. But can you kind of give me a quick rundown of what you've seen so far?
Well, yeah, basically it's been what you're seeing right here with the front four. They made quite a big gap, 5th place. And then outside of that, you have a small battle going on between Scott Grinnell and Jay Stofaniak. Looks like Jay is able to build a gap there. And then we have some of the back markers with Corey Barrett, Christopher Flamion. He may have also been stuck in the bathroom for about 20 minutes. A very late start, about 5 laps down. Behind him, you have Benjamin Shout and Joseph Meir. Joseph sporting a little bit of front end damage, so not quite sure what happened there.
I appreciate the acknowledgement that somebody else may have gotten stuck in the bathroom, but you really don't need to bring that up anymore for the rest of the race. So thank you. But yes, I have worked out my issues. Hopefully no other drivers experience the same trauma that I have experienced. But I said I am recovering. But yeah, I am very interested in this battle between Corey Barrett and Benjamin and Joseph. These guys all seem to be running very, very similar lap times, right around the 49 mark. And I think the draft is helping. I'm watching them come through Oak Tree here now, and they're looking pretty competitive too.
Yeah, no, it was just a sign that no matter your pace, there's someone there for you to race.
Just I'm trying to catch up here again since I was locked in the bathroom. I keep bringing it up, but it was really traumatic. Who's currently a fast lap of the race?
I saw 209 out of Mark Burt, who was in place, probably benefiting great. Oh, and Alex Albert having a big set into I believe that's 2-3. That's going to give him Thomas Ellison in place with Mark Burt in 3rd. Let's see if we can get that. So yeah, from the onboard, getting 2 wheels off, around he goes. Good to save it there. Certainly got some good stroke. Very tricky corner to get right.
Yeah. Just not watch the replay. He just dropped a right rear tire under braking and spun around like that. There's no recovery. I don't know how good of a driver you are. There is no recovery for that kind of a very brief and unfortunate off. Wow, well, after that incident, we are working our way back up through the field, and we're going to go right back up to the top here. Thomas Ellison and Mark Burt appears to be the semi-closest battle we have going on right now. Yeah, so we are watching the battle between Thomas Ellison and Mark Bird, which currently is the hottest action on the track after that unfortunate Alex Albert spin. But I truly anticipate Alex Albert getting back up here in due time, because these two battling, they are going to be a bit slower. Justin, have you escaped your own bathroom issues? Everyone, I think we've also lost Justin to a bathroom incident. So we're going to continue to watch this race between Thomas Ellison and Mark Bird. And I'm looking at timing and scoring. And if we can get a quick shot of some of the back crowds here again, Benjamin, Corey, and Joseph are also still very tight throughout this race. Yeah, we are watching Benjamin. He just went off in the final corner there under a lot of pressure from Corey Baird. And, you know, that is a very difficult corner. You want to be on the gas there, and you want to use as much track as you can. But, woo, you get in the grass. That is going to be not a fun time. So, unfortunately, Benjamin Stout has lost about 2.5 to 3 seconds to Corey Baird and Joseph Mayer. Look quickly up to Corey Barrett. I think this battle is resuming between these two guys, and they are within half a second of each other. Corey and Joseph are swapping very consistent lap times. Corey's last lap was a 2:13.5, and Joseph was a 2:13.2, so very competitive. Probably a little bit of a draft assistance for Corey from Joseph on that last lap. I am looking through the field here, and this appears to be our closest battle yet. If we could hop back up to the battle between Thomas Ellison and Mark Burke, I think these guys are still going at it, and we are keeping an eye on Alex Albert, who has a fair amount of ground to gain to get back up to these guys. There is Thomas Ellison going down the front straight with Mark Burke right on his heels. Last lap there, Thomas Ellison with a 2:11.7 and Mark Burke with a 2:11.6. So, I mean, identical lap times. And I really think that these guys are just riding along. At most part, Mark Burke, he's just waiting for Thomas Ellison to kind of pull him along and maybe gain a slight fuel advantage. But in these Miatas, again, you're really using as much of that right pedal as you possibly can. So fuel saving is a small likelihood here, but you're probably not going to get too much savings because there's so much up and down on this track. Thomas Ellison dropping a left front wheel coming into that sector right there, but he seems to be okay. Clearly. Let's rewind to that. Alex Albert, in his continued effort to absolutely push as hard as he can, has had a big off just before the section of Oak Tree and another big off on the exit of Oak Tree. But if you look here, he has really gained some time on these guys. So again, Thomas Ellison and Mark Burke battling it out. Alex Albert is truly going all out in his Miata. He's probably using some grip hacks to get up there. But man, it's looking like it's working so far. Let's keep watching this battle here. Tom Ellison with an off on the final sector again. Man, these cars are having a hard time after the track is getting slick, temperatures going up. Thomas Ellison dropping some left side tires. What a great save. And guess who's back in it? Alex Albert. We saw he was going to get back. I knew he was going to get back. And there he is right on the gearbox from Thomas Ellison. Now, if I was Mark Burke, I would be paying attention because I've got two drivers behind me currently driving with a bout of the red mist. Alex, obviously has the mist with his off and his unfortunate spin, and Thomas Ellison has now been caught by Alex Albert, who just a few laps ago was over 3 seconds back, and now he's right on his bumper. So these two were eager to get back up to Mark Burt, and he better be careful because both these boys are ready to come at it and take a position back, regardless of we have an hour and 28 minutes left. And it looks like a round of pit stops we may be entering. We have P9. Scott Grinnell is now in the pits. He's been in there for roughly 10 seconds into his spot. He's probably grabbing himself some fuel, even possibly some tires. These Miatas don't chew up tires too bad. But I imagine that for this long race, you may want some fresh rub on this. So we're going to keep an eye on how long that pit stop is so we can get an estimate of deltas for everybody else as the pit cycles just may be beginning. And there it is, you guys. We have a second car in pit lane. Aaron Thorpe has just now entered pit lane. He's coming down, and he's now in his spot, entering his pit stop. And now we have Wyatt in pit lane. He's in his spot. He has just began his service of tires and some fuel. So, guys, we are definitely in a pit window here. I fully anticipate Mark Bird, Thomas Ellison, Alex Albert pitting sometime soon. And with these pit cycles, that now puts Mark Burt in first, Thomas Ellison second, and Alex Albert in P3. This is your top group right here. And we are keeping a close eye on some of these pit deltas. We are observing that Scott Thorpe was in his stop for 32 seconds, and Scott Grinnell was in his spot for 46 seconds, and Wyatt Foster is still in his box for over 50 seconds. So it looks like we may be having a bout of strategy playing out here, or some of these guys are electing to take some optionals, which is fine. Whole big group coming in here. We got Jay in the pit, Joseph in the pit, Corey in the pit. So this group that was battling it out super quick, they have all pitted together, which is probably a good strategy so early in this race here. Let's let these guys finish their spots and see how they come back out with probably some fresh rubber and some fresh eyes. Yeah, I wish. I think Justin, I think has accidentally locked himself in the restroom, so he's probably dealing with the same issues I was. And if he's in there in that restroom I was in, he's probably going to be in there for at least 30 minutes. But Justin, if you can get out, you can hear me. Go to the pit lane. We'd love to hear why Wyatt Foster was in his box for 54 seconds. That is a significant stop. And here we go, you guys. We called it. Pit window is open, and the top three, Mark Bird, Thomas Ellison, Alex Albert, are now in for their service for probably a full tank of gas and 4 grippy new tires. We are keeping a very close eye on Wyatt as he is entering the final sector here, entering the final corner, and we still have Alex Albert and those other top 3 still in the pits. Is Wyatt going to regain his top spot? It could be close.
Hey, Aaron, I think I got locked in the bathroom here. It's quite dark. I can't see quite much yet. Am I missing anything?
Justin, I am so glad that we were hearing from you, man. Again, I warned you about that bathroom, brother, but you were entering in some action here. The top three have just exited the pits, and Wyatt has blown past everybody again to regain P1. So P1 through P4 is going to get hot here in probably about 10 to 15 minutes as these guys have all got fresh tires and a full tank of gas.
Well, I expect nothing less out of the top four in this league. I slowly make my way back out.
Like I said, Justin, I'm glad you made it out. Just the only thing we ask before you enter the booth is please wash your hands. Thank you.
Always, always. And I'm riding along here now with Thomas Ellison as he battles with Mark Burt. Looks like Mark Burt has taken the lead.
Justin, while you're watching that front pack, I am watching a continued battle between Joseph Mailer and Corey Barrett. These two have really been going on. They may be a little bit deep in the pack. They are currently side by side into Sector 1.
Oh, wow, that is quite dangerous. Hopefully they both make it out clean. Continue to watch the battle in front here. They're all lined up roller coaster. And Alex Albert has caught back up to Thomas Ellison after what I've been told is a off-track excursion. So Alex Albert just doing his duty, making sure the grass is trimmed. Come down the front straightaway.
I was quite impressed with how much curb Wyatt is taking in that final sector there. I mean, he was probably at about a 6% grade on the angle on that car. That was pretty impressive.
Yeah, if anyone knows how to hit curves, it's definitely Wyatt. I was seeing some of that earlier in this race. Clearly, his car showing no worse for the wear. So, the car can take it. Might as well do it, right?
Absolutely. Hey, Justin, I was just getting ready to comment. You know, we both have had a bathroom excursion. I was just reaching for the computer, and we actually bumped hands. Did you use that hand softener in the bathroom? But we both have got some pretty smooth hands here. Again, the facilities of VIR, they are fantastic.
Yes. The sanitary soap is top notch, and like I said, it's quite a nice facility. I'd recommend all of our viewers, if they have a chance, to visit the Virginia International Raceway. But just, when you use the facilities, watch out for those locks. It can be a bit tricky.
But once you get out of the lock, tell everybody about the hand sanitizer you use, because it's great.
Oh, it is fantastic. I believe it's got a nice peach smell to it, with, of course, lots of nice natural oils and moisturizer. And, man, you are really getting pampered when you visit Virginia International Raceway, let me tell you. As we watched Alex Albert battling Thomas Ellison coming into roller coaster, this is the type of stuff that we'd expect to see the entire race. He makes that pass cleanly. Now he's going to work his magic on Mark Burt. So, as always, very spicy in front.
And just we keep talking about it. Just because all the action's at the front doesn't mean that there's not a party in the back here. And Corey and Joseph are continuing to go at it here. They are running nearly identical times. Oh, Corey dropping some right side wheels in the grass there. Last lap for Corey was a 2:13.1. Last lap for Joseph was a 2:13.8. So they are, again, running identical lap times. And Joseph's going to get a bit of a pull up the hill here.
Let's ride along and give them some screen time. As we see Barrett still out in the lead here. If Joseph can move here in the roller coaster, our leaders have done several times tonight, and he's having a look. He makes it stick. Oh! That looked very close. Looked like Joseph was able to back off right before it got deadly.
Saved by Joseph. I mean, I'm sure if we had an in-car replay of that, there was some serious sawing on the wheel happening. I think Corey didn't break early. Just Joseph had a run. He wanted to go for it, and woo, almost had a big moment right there.
Yeah, that looked quite dicey. How Wyatt Foster is getting on. Looks like he is catching up to the huge-ass car of Christopher Flamian. Flamian doing his best to make up for lost time of our bathroom Padres. I already rebooted the router.
Woo! A bit of a spicy moment for Wyatt there, getting past Chris Flamian. Flamian, he is, 5 laps down. He's doing his best, but that was a bit close. Flamian gave him not a lot of room, and he clearly wanted to race him. And Wyatt dropping some. Oh, whoa, Wyatt, hold on to it. Big moment there again for Wyatt. He's still thinking about that moment he had with Flamian in that sector 2, trying to get by him. And I have just scanned back to Alex, Albert, Mark Burke, and Thomas Ellison. This continues. They are side by side going up the hill here, about to drop down and entering Sector 3. These two do not care that there's an hour and 15 minutes left in this race. They are going for every position they can get. Here we go. Ho! That was a bit of some fender banging right there. Everybody maintain control. Alex Albert is still pushing super hard on Mark Bird. He wants that spot for P2. Bit of a mistake by Alec Albert entering the final sector. Tom Ellison will be the benefactor of that, coming down to the home stretch to cross the start-finish line to complete lap 22. And we are happy to welcome back the one and only strong and mighty street stock back on the track. Alex Crawford is back on the track after some early issues with the car, but we are happy to have our street stock back and seeing him mixing and matching through the field. I have never claimed to be a racing psychologist, but I think some of the tactics that Alex Albert is currently trying to use on Mark Bird have to be trying to affect him. That his mirror is completely full of that HJ Motorsport logo for at least the last 4 or 5 laps. Alex Albert, he may not be trying to force a pass, but he sure as heck is trying to intimidate one. Folks, he's done it. The pressure applied, the pressure needed has completed the pass for Alex Albert. He is now in P2, and we have an off. Is that Flamian? The troubles from Flamian continues. However, Mark Burt maintained a massive run off the final corner, observing Flamian off course. Alex Albert a little distracted, and here we are. Mark Burt has reclaimed P2 at the start-finish line, and Alex Albert is probably a bit steamy about that, while Thomas Ellison continues to ride in the back of the cruise ship, just enjoying the view.
Looks like Thomas Ellison has some damage on the right fender. Do we know what happened there?
I'm actually not sure what happened. I don't want to completely discount the issue, but I just think that may be some default rapido damage. As we both know, Thomas Ellison is a fantastic driver, but he is a man of 2 egos on the racetrack, and sometimes the rapido can enter the race car when you least expect it, and when the rapido is in the car, sometimes the fender gets a little bang. Oh, we've got an off for Corey Barrett. Off for Corey Barrett. Still riding. He is going to appear to save it, but the benefactor to his off is going to be Joseph Mailer at the start-finish. Corey is still mowing the grass, and he has returned all 4 wheels to the tarmac.
Oh, man, a scary off for Corey Barrett, but able to keep it back together. He goes into turn 1. He will certainly be working to get a nice battle back with Joseph Mayer. They've been going at it for quite a while now.
And it's been a very respectful battle, much like our 2-3-4 group. These guys have been very, very respectful. But man, Corey had been really strong the last 3 or 4 laps. So that off is going to set him back almost a second and a half here. I do believe that Corey has a bit of a pace on Joseph. So we'll hook it back up there. Just give him a couple laps, and we'll come back to this battle in due time to see these guys bumper to bumper again.
Agreed. So with that, take a look at Wyatt Foster. How is he doing? Looks like he is riding alone. P1 is now battling out with some back markers. Aaron Thorpe. He spiked cleanly. So I guess Wyatt had a pretty good pit strategy.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if pit strategy is entirely important for Wyatt. I mean, his pit stop was on par within a second half of everybody else, but I just think Wyatt's got pace. He's been running, mid 210s. Everybody else is in the 211 to 212 mark. I think Wyatt, you never want to be stranded on an island as a person, because I think that's a dangerous situation. But if you're stranded on an island on a racetrack because you're the leader, that's not a bad thing.
No, certainly not. Some might take it as a luxury to back off a little bit, but knowing Wyatt, I'd say he's going to be pushing the entire time.
I think he is too, but Justin, I've never claimed to be the fastest driver, but if I had a lead like this, you want some snacks in the car, you want a nice cold drink, and you're just gonna kind of hang out, for the next hour or so, which is about how much we have left in this race.
Yeah, certainly lots of time till we hit the checker. We ride along with Alex Albert in the hog pen. Mark Burt's going to get a little loose out of Oak Tree. Thomas Ellison also going to be going through the dirt. I'd expect Alex Albert to be able to make a run on him. The roller coaster, as we've seen him do so many times before.
Yeah, just to finish the commentary. Oh, hold on. We've got a move here by Alex Albert. No, look. As I said, just to finish my commentary on Wyatt Foster again, he's got a really strong lead. The only one thing I would not recommend to Wyatt Foster is trying to go to the restroom during your pit stop. I think 54 seconds, you got a plenty of time for a quick dash, but I would not recommend it due to the faulty lock situation here at VIR. Fantastic facilities, great hand wash, but just be very careful of the hand washing. The pre-activities to the hand washing.
Yes, very, very tricky locking system. As we get back to the serious business here with Alex Albert, fighting his way with Mark Burt, trying to get a nose in on him at the turn 1. Thomas Ellison following close behind. Looks like they're actually starting to build a little bit of a gap. But, of course, with that powerful Miata draft, this gap won't last for long.
That powerful draft, indeed, Justin. You really talked about it. These cars, they are tiny, they are mighty, and they do cut a bit of a hole in the air. And you'd be surprised at what kind of speed you can get at. You guys get to train at these things. You could get moving.
Indeed. You definitely gain about like 5 or 6 mile an hour on the straightaway. It's quite impressive for such a small car. Thomas Ellison's going to need to work on keeping it clean here so that he doesn't miss his opportunity. Because missing the draft here is just going to be left in the dust. Coming to Oak Tree. Let's see if Alex can get a nice run on here. Of course, that Oak Tree no longer there, the current track.
That is extremely sad. Justin, I don't recall the university, but I do believe there was a university that took the DNA of that tree, and that tree has been replicated and is currently growing somewhere with the ultimate goal of transplanting it. I have not checked the internet to see if that is something that is still happening, but that is some encouraging news over the last 5 years to try and recover that iconic tree that unfortunately died a few years ago.
Yeah, quite unfortunate, and certainly our Google warriors will be on the case to get back to you on that. As we see Alex Albert and Mark Burt both getting a pretty good run out of Hog Pen. And looks like Alex is going to go for the inside on turn 1. If you can run a tight line there, you save a little bit of distance. As we see Tom going a little off there. From the grass. Alex has made the pass stick. Go into turns 3 and 4. I've gotten word that there has been a sapling recovered from that tree about 15 years ago. So hopefully in about, 40 years' time, we can get a baby oak tree planted there.
Yeah, Justin, I'm really hoping that too, because the old saying is you can turn a molehill into a mountain. I hope they can turn that acorn into a tree, because that would be great.
It certainly would. See Mark Burt on the bumper of Alex Albert here, going into the nice fast king section here before Oak Tree. Very easy to go off there. Both all keep in there, the three of them. And the power of the draft is starting to show its power, and Mark Burt really closing the distance here on Alex Albert.
Justin, I have took a quick pan to the midfield here, and I'm not sure what has occurred, but Scott Grinnell is now being heavily tracked by Corey Barrett and Joseph Mailer. So we now have a trio mid-pack now, along with our front trio.
Agreed. Yeah, it's getting pretty dicey. And it also looks like we have Alex Crawford back out on track. So certainly with the street stock, we can add some excitement into the mix.
Yeah, it's just a shame that we haven't had the street stock the visibility this season, the street type participation, it is a difficult car to run because you pretty much you drive the car, and the only way you can get replacement parts is going to the junkyard. So something breaks, got to find a local junkyard because the street stock, they don't actually make those parts anymore. So it's a real miracle, and we're all excited to see that Alex Cofford has brought the car to the track today.
Agreed.
Oh my God, this is great. Justin, I'll let you cover this.
Oh, wow. What's going on? God, son of Oak. Am I still muted? All right. It looks like the VIR, we have a quick snippet here about the historic Son of Oak tree. You can see they are working hard to get that tree sapling back up to the... And actually, yeah, it has been planted, so it's looking pretty hopeful.
Yeah, Justin, I really appreciate you sharing that because I know a lot of people probably don't care about a tree like it's a tree. Just chop it down and make me a house, make me a newspaper, anybody in the service, but it's so important to this track. So it's fantastic that they're trying to recreate that beautiful element for this track. But in the meantime, Scott Grimmel, Joseph Mailer, and Corey Barrett, and now Cofford are all in a bit of a mix in the mid-pack here.
Yeah, certainly with that street stock there, it's going to get quite dicey. Street stock going to struggle a little bit in the corners, but once they get to the straight, should make for an interesting run into roller coaster.
And we unfortunately did miss the effort due to showing that very important and beautiful graphic of the recreation and the reimagination of Oak Tree. But Joseph Mailer has passed Corey Baylor and Scott Grimmel, and Joseph is now in P6, putting Corey in P7, and Scott Grimmel, who was in P6, now to P8. Dropped some spots due to a bit of some wild driving. And let's watch this here as Cofford is dying to get past him here up the hill.
Yeah, I had expected it to be very easy for him to get past him here on this very, very long straightaway. And pulling off to the left, passing lane, as we call it. Getting by cleanly.
Yeah, it's very, very easy to get up this hill, and I think he's going to get past Corey. As we talk about the street stock, it is completely, melted down spare parts of just junk you find on the side of the street. But this package is an extremely powerful package in a straight line. It's a bit hairy in the corners. It does pack some power.
Yeah, and I would say it really speaks to the theme of ChampCar, just slap some parts together that you find in the junkyard and just go racing.
Justin, you're absolutely right. It is the
essence. And Corey Barrett going off course there in Hogpen. Just trying to catch maybe a little bit too much drafting that of the junkyard street stock.
Well, I mean, it happens. You see that pile of molded junk in front of you, you get a little scared and you want to follow it. And that Corey, he got the blinders on. He saw the pile of junk get in front of him, and he tried to stay with him. But, Cofford, a little wide into turn one, and looks like he's got it back under control. Guys, we're going to take a quick break here. I want to clarify, we are not going to the restroom. We're not going to the restroom. We're going to go grab a snack. We're going to go grab a drink. We're not going to go to the restroom because we may never see you guys again. But the broadcast crew is going to take a quick break for this long 2-hour race. You guys have exactly 58 minutes left in this race. We're going to take a quick break and be back with you in 5 minutes. And we're back, everyone. Justin and I have returned to the booth, full of snacks, full of drink, and hopefully we don't have to go to the bathroom. Man, we have really re-emerged here with Mark Bird, Thomas Ellis, and Alex Albert. Nothing has changed. These three are continuing to go at it. Unfortunately, they have gotten no closer to the island that is Wyatt Foster, Justin.
Yeah, Wyatt Foster just putting on a gap, you know, when you're and really to Mark and Tom, Alex's detriment, just so competitive with one another that they are not, you know, able to catch back up to Wyatt.
No, they just can't. But one thing we are watching in the back part of the field here, Joseph Mailer, Scott Grinnell, Benjamin Schott, and Aaron Thorpe have all taken their second pit stop. So we are in that window, and I would expect these three to be paying very close attention with the others doing. Wyatt Foster and everybody in P1 through P6 has not taken their second stop yet, so that is coming very, very soon. But I'm anxious to watch how they treat this, and if they're all going to stay in line or they're all going to choose a strategy, because we're kind of at that point where that may be a choice.
Yeah, you know, certainly Wyatt Foster is able to make it work just to ride solo, putting down consistent 210. So if you think you got some pace in the guy in front of you, it might be worth just waiting that extra lap or pitting that one lap sooner.
I really think so. And Justin, I really want to apologize to Wyatt Foster. I said, you know, he's probably up there eating some snacks. Like, this guy has no snacks in the car with how hard he is driving. I really commend him for the pace he is sustaining. He is, you know, hey, he has no desire to slow down right now. Versus I'd be like, hey, man, what snacks I got in the car? I got a big lead. But he is pushing, and I don't think it's going to stop.
I'd imagine not. It looks like he is about to lap the back markers of Aaron Thorpe and Corey Barrett, who I believe you mentioned both taking their second pit already. So that. Oh, yeah, they have not. Anyways, we follow along with Wyatt Foster. He'll hopefully get by these guys pretty cleanly. You're gonna want to do it before the S's. So that section is completely flat out in this car. Aaron's gonna wisely get over, and Wyatt is well on his way to lapping Corey.
Justin, I know we've really focused a lot on you know, P2 through P4, Mark Bird, Thomas Ellis, and Alex Albert. But let me run down the last lap these two completed. They have done a 2:11.8, 2:11.9, 2:11.9. So, I mean, these are identical lap times. So I know there's a bit of draft in there, but there is no letting up for these guys. There is no fuel saving. I just think this is all out all the time at this point.
I agree, and you know, who better to race than your co-owner and good friend, right? Both of these guys, obviously being co-owners, are going to want to keep their cars clean, and but you know, not taking any team orders.
There are no team orders here, and I just want to make a quick note. You know, we are always big proponents of responsible driving, and I just want to give a shout out to the group that we're following. All of these guys have under 3 incidents. Extremely responsible driving, extremely courteous. VIR has plenty of opportunities to make some you know, advantages that may not be steward approved, but everybody's being very respectful. Now, with all races, there is one loser in that category, and unfortunately, it is Corey Barrett in P6, has 17 incidents. But we have all seen Corey's incidents are all accidents. Corey's not being irresponsible. He's just had some moments that I think are just fault of pushing in traffic, pushing for position. So I don't want to discount Corey, but unfortunately, Corey is the current leader in off tracks in this race.
Certainly not a record that you want to. And another from Corey Barrett. Now let's go with Thomas Ellison and Alex Albert. Two teammates continue to fight it out. Turn 4. Tom getting a little bit loose. They come up into the S's. I think Alex has a good run. Probably one of the most dangerous places to attempt an overpass. Definitely very frustrating when you're starting to get a run on them.
Alex is definitely knocking on the door here. He's knocking on the door, but I don't know if he wants in yet. I don't know if he wants in, and frankly, if I was Tom, I don't know if I'd let him in.
Yeah, I have to question that as well. You have to wonder if maybe some of those fender dings came from Mr. Albert himself.
I mean, it really depends on what kind of things Alex Albert is offering. If he's offering a magazine or is he offering some Girl Scout cookies? I mean, it depends on what kind of things he's got at the front door there, whether you want to let him in or not at the 45-minute mark of this race.
And it looks like he is going to make it around on the inside as they come into roller coaster.
Well, Justin, and just to complete that analogy, it is officially understood as Girl Scout cookies. He has been lit through, and Girl Scout cookies have entered the home of Tom Ellison.
He is just making a run with those Girl Scout cookies. He goes for Mark Burt.
Now, Justin, you know I really enjoy watching the mid-pack because as a racer, I am a mid-pack guy. I don't know what it's like to be up front. I'm not quick, but I enjoy racing. I'm back here with Joseph Mailer and Scott Cornell, and these two are getting back close to each other. They're back to getting competitive. Corey Barrett has run away a bit with this, but I really think this mid-pack is working on some pit strategy. They're all a little bit askew of each other. Again, Corey Barrett has not pitted. Jay in P6, Joseph in P7, and Scott in P8 have all taken their second stop.
So that'll definitely be interesting to see how that finishes up when Corey does take his stop. Judging by the time of this race, looks like they'll probably have to take at least maybe 2 more, you think?
There's a good chance, but I'm not entirely sure. I don't have any of these the pit road contacts that we usually have for these races. It is VIR, amazing facilities, but we just couldn't get another person out here because they heard about the bathroom issue. But I don't know what kind of tire wear these guys are going through.
Yeah, I don't know either. I'd also wonder if they're fuel limited. Oh, and Tom is going through the dirt. Such an easy corner to get wrong. Like, oh no, that's a lap car. I was wondering if he was starting to get caught by P5. No, actually, yeah, that Jay Sofignac is getting in distance. So Tom, Alex, and Mark duking it out, currently allowing Jay to catch up. Or, wait, are they a lap down? Sorry. My apology.
And Justin, I know it's not exciting. It's not where everybody wants to see the camera, but I'm up here watching Wyatt in P1, and he's just consistent. He's hitting every single mark. He's hitting every single apex. He's hitting every single shift. Like, the guy is an absolute machine in this race. He knows the track. He knows every single part of it, and he's just smoking the competition.
There really is no other way to put it. I mean, a 10.066 out all on his own, just flying through the National Raceway. He will continue to build a lead on second place, Alex Albert and Tom Allison. Sorry, Thomas Ellison, or Mark Burt and Alex Albert.
And right as we say that, Justin, the commentator curse has come in. Wyatt Foster has had a bit of an issue entering into Oak Tree. He's gone way wide, brought it back, and then he had a secondary off exiting Oak Tree. So the Wyatt driving style was a bit interrupted by the commentator's curse. We want to apologize, but I really don't want to.
You certainly are a professional of the commentator's curse there.
Yeah, I don't have a record that I'm proud of with the commentator's curse. I like to choose favorites. I like to root for some of the underdogs. As I said, I'm a big pack driver, but sometimes when Aaron Thacker's in the booth and he's calling a race, he mentions the driver's name. Some sort of voodoo comes upon them, and it's not always in their favor.
That it is not. We have Thomas Ellison making his second pit stop of the race. So, back out on track. It looks like 30 minutes to go. 40 minutes to go. So, believe they're going to be able to go the rest of the distance of the race.
Justin, we are really seeing some strategy play out here. Corey Barrett has not taken his stop yet, and Corey is now up to P5. So I don't know what kind of strategy Corey is running, but he's got something in his mind, and I think it's working. He's got some opportunity here coming to the closing 40 minutes of this race.
Yeah, he certainly does. It'll be interesting to see how that pans out. You know, certainly pace isn't everything. Good strategy really make the difference.
And we have Mr. P3, Alex Albert, is now in his pit box taking his fuel. But is he taking tires? We don't know. Do we have a... he's out. He is out. He is out. He is not taking tires. It is fuel only, and I think that's going to be a trend for everybody in the final 40 minutes race.
Yeah, I'd say so. I mean, the Miata, quite the light car. You don't have a lot of power. I'd imagine they're going to be pretty good on tires. So, quick splash, and they're also pretty good on fuel. So, be surprised if they're able to go the distance.
Yeah, Justin. To your point, that was definitely a quick splash. The first pit stop for these guys was averaging of 55 to 57 seconds. That splash and go for Alex was just short of 16 seconds in the pit stall. So a much more efficient pit stop, and I think we're going to be watching pit times and pit box times for the rest of these guys to maybe gain a few tenths coming in and out.
Oh, Alex putting two wheels off there. You're the king. We were informed that Tom may have been cutting it a little bit close on the fuel numbers. So that'll certainly be an interesting thing to watch. The Miata field, not really known for fuel saving. They prefer to duke it out.
They absolutely prefer to duke it out, but we've got a whole new group of folks here. We have Thomas Ellison P3, Alex Albert P4, Corey Barrett in P5, and Jay in P6. These guys are a bit spread out on track, but in terms of proximity, it just takes one little hiccup and you lose some momentum in this car, and the next thing you know, you are bumper to bumper with the guy in front of you. So we're going to continue to watch this flow here. Thomas Ellison, as you guys said, went a bit short on the fuel fill, but does he know something else that everybody doesn't know?
Yeah, we'll just have to really be watching that. Like we said, strategy can really make the difference here.
Now, a lot of our viewers may not know, but Thomas Ellison is a man of data. He likes a lot of analysis, and he loves a good Excel sheet. So there's a very good chance that Tom has crunched a considerable amount of numbers prior to this race. He may have even gone some testing. So that short pit stop, which is a full 5 seconds shorter than Alex Albert in P4, Thomas Ellison may be using some math to figure out how to get a P3 or even greater, a P2.
Yeah, Tom Ellison, like you covered already, a spreadsheet expert. I wouldn't be surprised if he has a column for every single condition that could happen in this race. So I'm sure he's got his math dialed in, is ready to make that strategy work. Good pace.
Yeah, Justin, I wouldn't doubt that either. I mean, if the sheet that Tom has accumulated for this race isn't at least 1,000 lines, I'd be disappointed.
So Alex Albert, right along with him, going to be using the back marker Joseph Mayer's draft to try and do his best to catch Tom Ellison. He could time this draft just right as he comes up the S's. Definitely going to help him out.
Yeah, for sure. And I'd like to take a quick moment to observe our one, only, and loyal street stock in this race. Unfortunately, Alexander Cofford is back in the pit box. He's been in the pit box for over a minute. I know it's a street stock, so he may be having to take like a squirt bottle or maybe even like a turkey baster to put fuel in the car. But it appears he has had some more issues with this junkyard dog, which is a beautiful piece of machinery. But it appears that he has had another issue and he's back in the pit box, and I just don't know if he's going to be able to make it back out.
Yeah, you know, I was actually watching his onboard there, and he on the end of lap 20 had quite the off roller coaster. If I didn't know better, I would say that was a General Lee. He definitely got some air. Lap 20 going into Hogpen.
Everybody loves a good Dukes of Hazzard episode, but if you're in a race car, that's really the last thing you want to do to your car against some of those compressions on the suspension, compressions on the drive shaft. That's a really difficult
Compressions
thing.
on the spine.
Yeah, crushing on the spine. Yeah, and Justin, I just want to report here. I'm seeing some action. The left side of the car just went up and went down. The right side of the car went up and down. I think this is a full pit stop, and Cofford is coming back out.
Oh, very exciting. Definitely glad to see the junkyard dog is coming back out. Like you had already covered, for whatever reason, they just used a very skinny tube for that filler. And, you know, for whatever reason, they can only fill like a tenth of a gallon a second. Quite painful.
You know what? And if there was an issue with the car, they probably just found some metal laying in a field somewhere. And if they had an issue, they probably just attached the metal to the car and fixed it. So I'm anxious to see Cofford get back on track again. We really love the spirit of the street stock. I hope he gets back out there.
Yeah, agreed. It's quite the versatile machine.
But let's get back on to the action with the cars that aren't made out of scrap metal you find in your backyard. It looks like Wyatt Foster is still a very, very strong lead in P1. Mark Burt, a sustained and manageable P2. Thomas Ellison, P3. Alex Albert, P4. Corey Barrett, P5. Corey Barrett, according to my records may be inaccurate, Corey has still not pitted. Neither has Mark Burt. Neither has Wyatt Foster, Justin.
Wow. This is truly something to watch. From what we can tell, looks like they're going to have to do at least one more pit stop. I'd have to imagine Wyatt Foster has enough of a gap to do that. And, but yeah, really going to be exciting to see how this all finishes up. We come into the last 30 minutes of this race.
Yeah, Mark Burton is currently dealing with a little bit of lap traffic of Benjamin here. He's making a pass on the back straight. Benjamin is being very respectful. Benjamin's got a bit of damage on the car, a little bit slower than everybody else. Respectful pass there. But Mark Burt has got places to be. So very respectful of Benjamin to let him by there.
Indeed. And certainly with these cars that are going a lap down, typically they've been very clean and letting the other car through and not really holding him up. So great to see. Hopefully that can be repeated in the ChampCar race on Sunday.
Now, Justin, we are coming up on lap 42 here with just over 31 minutes left in this race. Where do you think quick cut, Corey Barrett. Corey Barrett is now in his pit box. Corey Barrett is on pit lane. Corey Barrett, one of the 3 cars left on track that is not pit. Corey is now in serving his stop, and Thomas Ellison is just about to come right by him.
Yep, so Thomas Ellison won't have to be working for that overtake. He looks to close in on Mark Burt, who has made up quite the gap so far.
Yeah, I am not a fuel mileage expert, but I want to assume that Corey Barrett ran it as dry as it can be, and the fact that Mark Burt is continuing to run, I am becoming slightly concerned about the fill status of Mark Burt's gas tank. How, Justin? How much fuel does he have? How much fuel does he have left?
Oh, I don't know. Unfortunately, like you had already mentioned, we don't have a man down in the pits to let us know this information. So, we're just going to have to be on the edge of our seats to see if he's got enough.
He's coming through Oak Tree right now. If we could just continue to focus on Mark Bird, I really think he has to pit this lap. If he doesn't have to let out some clutch, I mean, turn the car off, he's the only car on track. I'm incorrect. Wyatt Foster has also not pitted, but these two are really running out the limits of their fuel mileage here.
They definitely are, and as we can see, that can definitely pay off. It's gonna be a quick splash, and they'll be able to finish up these last last half hour.
And Justin, we just watched Mark Burt go by start finish, go by the pits. He's got more fuel in the car. I am fascinated by what is going on here with the performance by Wyatt Foster and Mark Burke in terms of fuel economy.
Yeah, it's truly impressive. Running a 2:10.5 on that last lap, just smoking. So if he's doing some fuel saving, I'm not sure where he's doing it.
Yeah, I don't know where he's doing any fuel saving. I mean, if at all, I really wish we had a pit reporter. Just if we have a pit reporter, don't go to the bathroom right now. They're working. Don't. They're working on the lock. They're gonna get it fixed. Amazing facility. Just be careful with the lock.
So Crawford back out on track. Our solo street stock. Of course, he will still get 40 points for this round with the multi-class scoring system. So, not a bad drive.
I'm so glad to see him back on track. I mean, you don't know. I mean, he may have a coat hanger keeping that thing together, like a paper clip. He may have been chewing some bubble gum, for the last 8 minutes in the pit to keep that thing together. But I'm so glad to see that street stock back on track.
I am too, and hopefully by the next round we can see some more of those.
Me too, but in the meantime, the lusting over the street stock must stop, and here we are in P3, P4, Alex Albert and Thomas Ellison. Guess what, Justin? They're back at it again.
You know what? I can't say I'm surprised. The competitiveness between these two guys is like that of Ayrton Senna and Alan Prost.
That is a strong comparison, and at the same time, we got to watch out for some lap traffic in front of them. There's a bit some spicy stuff going in front of these guys that they're going to need to deal with, probably here in at least a lap.
Yeah, hopefully they can get out of the way and not make it too difficult for them, because this race is getting pretty exciting.
Well, and here's the thing. This is a battle for position. This is Jay and Corey. This is a battle for position. We've got Crawford coming up on the street stock. So there's a lot going on here.
There really is. It's going to get pretty dicey in the turn one. See if you can make a move on the outside stick. You got Crawford as well. He's going to back off. Looks like Corey's going to back off as well. So, probably preferring to set it up on probably on the back straight or going into the S's, I would think.
Yeah, I know it feels like, Corey late on the brakes there.
Very late, as it almost looks like Jay was just didn't quite use as much track as he could have, kind of protecting the inside line. Here we go into the S's.
Now, Justin, I feel like for us, it feels like this race just started because of all the great action on track. But I'm sure these guys driving here for driving for an hour and 35 minutes, this race is getting really taxing on these guys. So the Corey and the Josephs, like they're getting pretty beat down, and even with the Thomas Ellisons and the Alex Alberts, like there's a little bit of mental attrition is starting to come in here. You're like, okay, how much time is left? When do I take my risk? When do I make my move? And when is it gonna matter?
You know, I agree. As someone who's done a few of the endurance races, you know, it is just incredible how quickly that time can go by, but it certainly wears on you. And, you know, I'm always a conservative driver, but these guys, these are the ones who are going to make the moves.
Yeah, let's definitely keep our eye on the action here. This battle between Jay and Corey is about to get pretty dicey with Thomas Ellison and Alex Albert, who are battling for podium position here, are significantly quicker, but they are catching these guys in a pretty aggressive manner.
Yeah, that's a good point. We have P6 and P5 fighting position, and P2 and P3 as well behind them. Or, I'm sorry, P3 and P4.
Corey's had a bit of an off here. Corey is running in the middle of the track, so I think he's going to let Alex by. There we go. Corey's decided to pick the inside line. I do expect Corey to lift a little early here to let Alex by, but what is Thomas Ellison going to do?
Yeah, that'll be interesting to see. It looks like he's going to let him by too, so very good to get out of the way. Definitely going to be hard on him. Hopefully, Jay, a little bit unlucky as well. And, Jay is going to hold up Alex Albert. Thomas Ellison is going to force the issue into turn 2. He's got by so far.
Justin, we were watching for it. Like, we had a feeling that this lap traffic would be an issue. You know, Jay was not obstructing anybody's line. He wasn't trying to impede anybody. He was running his race, and Alex just got a little anxious behind Jay there, and unfortunately gave Thomas Ellison the position.
Yeah, you know, certainly it's always something that you can look to use to your benefit, as it looks like Jay is going to lift into the S's here and let them both by cleanly. But yeah, just a great opportunity. Alex getting a little bit too eager, going deep into that corner. And like as you said, you know, Jay's got to run his race. He's got to do what's right for him. So both battles are going to continue. Oh, and looks like Tom and Alex both had an off there. Picking up some dirt.
Yeah, both those guys had a big off, and Justin, with the passing of Alex Albert and Tom Ellison over Jay and Corey, that leaves Wyatt Foster, Mark Burt, Thomas Ellison, and Alex Albert the only 4 cars on the lead lap.
Yeah, certainly there are some quick drivers out there tonight. Wyatt Foster seems to continue to run into the low 210s. So Mark Burt running more of a 211 pace.
Yeah, Justin, I myself just changed up to the view of Wyatt Foster, and I thought I saw a Cheeto bag fly out of the cockpit. I was like, man, is he going for the snacks? But no, it was just a figment of my imagination, possibly a chunk of dirt or debris coming off the car. But I really thought he had just finished his first bag of snacks, but that is incorrect.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I bet he wished he had a snack. All right, so Corey and Sofignac is heating up. Corey is, diving on the inside. He really wanted to get by Jay. That was a pretty clean move.
You know what, Justin? That was the old that was kind of a shake and bake from a car standpoint. He went the outside, and I think Jay was taking the responsible line, but Corey looking to make a move here at the 20-minute mark and wanted to get by him right at that moment, and good for Corey.
Yeah, definitely. Quite the clean pass. Their battle, I suspect, is not over yet.
No, Justin, you're definitely right. These guys, yeah, I think Corey is a bit more eager than Jay, but I think they're going to figure out that this is kind of the twilight period of the race. Like you wanna make sure you're in position to make a move, but you don't want to lose the guy in front of you. But at the same time, do you want to make the move now and possibly hang back? If you're light on fuel, maybe do a little fuel conservation. If you're double sending some tires, maybe save some tires. I think there's some psychological stuff going on here, and you really need to decide where you're going to be in these last 20 minutes.
Yeah, I agree. You make a lot of good points there. You know, sometimes it's easier to follow than it is to lead. And, Corey is going to have a big off and roller coaster. So that will let Jay easily by. You know, like you had said, just a little bit too eager. He better off just doing some follow until later. Putting two wheels off again in the hog pen, and another run through the dirt. I think Corey is definitely well on his way to winning that incident count race tonight.
Yeah, Justin, I hate to I hate to say it, but that commentator's curse, you know, at this point of the race, like the psychological element becomes stronger than the physics of the car.
It's like you're in their head.
Yeah, it's like I'm in there, but like Corey coming in the final sector, he missed his braking point, and he was frustrated. And he entered the final corner, and he missed his turn-in point. It's just like it really starts to wear on you, and you hate to see it happen, but we are seeing it happen right now.
Yeah. So hopefully they can get it back under control, and we can see some more fighting as we head into the final. A little less than 20 minutes to go.
Yeah, I mean, I really feel that, you know, as much as we're trying to cover the other groups in this, and I think the entire field is a very competitive field here at VIR, which is a fantastic circuit, a beautiful circuit. Just watch out for the lock in the bathroom. Everybody here is doing a great job, and this track flows. It flows well. You get a good rhythm, but I think the track comes to you. But right now we are at the psychological breaking point for a lot of these drivers. That 2-hour mark is where you really need to refocus yourself and reanalyze where are you going to be, what are you going to do with 5 minutes to go. And you have to start planning that right now. Don't execute it, but you have to plan it.
Yeah, certainly the strategy, once again, very, very important. You know, sometimes you really want to save some fuel, save some tires until that last 5 minutes, so that you know that you have enough to the end. A couple of the guys here look to take low fuel numbers, so it'd be interesting to see and interesting to watch if they have enough in the tank.
Justin, I'm really not going to surprise anybody with this next lap time, but Wyatt Foster on lap 47 with 17 minutes to go is currently the fastest car on track by a full second.
Wow. So Wyatt Foster, again, just to proving his dominance out there, the VIR circuit. It's like they
Justin,
he's running his times, low 210s, very fast.
Justin, if we could just take a quick moment and pop back to P8 and P9, Aaron Thorpe and Benjamin have found themselves in a little battle here for P8 and P9, and I like where this is going.
Oh, wow, as they almost go too wide into the S's. This is getting quite dicey. You know, back to our previous point, you know, no matter the skill, there's someone for you to race. So...
No, these two drivers ignore their position on track. These guys are doing lap times that are almost identical. They are similar in pit delta. They are similar in incidents. They are similar in iRating. They are similar in safety rating. Like, these are two guys that are ready to compete with just over 60 minutes left in this race. I'm anxious to see these guys race each other and have a competitive finish.
Yeah, I am too, and they've been keeping it very clean so far, so it should be pretty exciting.
And Justin, I have some terrible news. The minute I called out this battle, guess what happened? Justin off track in the final sector and has now unfortunately lost a full second to Benjamin.
Oh wow, you really have a gift for that. So you've heard it here first. If you want your race to continue going well, not let Aaron give you the shout out.
But here we go. Here we go again, Justin. Thomas Ellison and Alex Albert have again caught some laugh traffic. So Benjamin and Aaron Thorpe, they're about to become another obstacle for this battle that is extremely important for the final podium position.
Yeah, you know, it's pretty crazy. We've had two cars also fighting for a position. They're trying to run their race. You know, Alex has to be smart about this because last time he gave that position up to Thomas Ellison, so I'm sure he's looking to not repeat that.
I am anxious to see how Alex decides to treat this. And the S's, this is an extremely dangerous place to make any sort of passes. But at the same time, Alex needs to be cognizant of the presence of Tom back there. Could be. Oh, here he goes.
Oh, a little bit of net code there. It looked like he had given Aaron enough room on my screen, but is unfortunate for Aaron Thorpe.
Yeah, I think we're gonna need to go back and take a review of that incident.
All right, let's watch a replay now.
Yeah, Justin. I just think that was a racing. That is an extremely difficult place to pass there. I do think as a leading car, Alex may have had the right of way, but that is just a difficult place to give two cars position in a very, very high speed area. So I just think nobody's error there, nobody's fault. That is a racing incident in my book.
Yeah, I have to agree with that one. It's tough to see. It's unfortunate, but you know, it's sometimes a part of racing.
Well, Justin, we are on lap. We are just now hitting lap 50 with 13 minutes left. I'm going to put you on the spot. How do you feel this battle between Alex Albert and Tom Ellison is going to play out? Is one of them gonna be in front of the other? Are we going to see a spin? Are we going to see a pit? Like what is going to happen here? Because I really feel we need to set expectations for ourselves for some drama in the last couple laps of this race, and I mentally need to prepare for it with somebody else's opinion.
Well, I'm happy to provide mine, Aaron. And yeah, you know, I think Tom has been keeping it pretty clean. Alex, certainly no stranger to doing some drifts on course, having some off course or trails to the grass. So I think if I'm Tom, I'm going to let Alex lead the race as he loves to do, hang back, and then just wait for those last 5 minutes of the race. Like you said, planning for those 5 minutes, and then make his move there. And I expect it to be pretty exciting. You know, these guys, good friends. But, you know, also even stronger rival. So I'd expect a pretty dicey finish with these two.
No, I definitely agree with you. But Alex is he's not completely devoid of race strategy, and he understands that Tom is going to hang behind him. He's going to understand that Tom is going to have draft advantage, and he's going to understand what it's going to take to make a pass in the final sector. So, but at the same time, Alex knows that, and he's also at this track. You have some very strong defensive lines in these final S's to hold somebody off. So there's not a big disadvantage here to be in front. But if you're behind, you really, really got to commit with your strategy and how you're going to make the pass, because going too wide in that final sector, high risk, but high reward.
Yeah, certainly that could be how this race ends. Like you said, go too wide into hog pen. That is normally a recipe for disaster. But I suspect these guys will leave nothing on the line.
Justin and I am again constantly monitoring lap times, and I have observed Mr. Wyatt Foster in P1 has done a 2:16 dead in that last lap. Have we observed an error by Mr. Foster?
Very, very possible. Although it looked like maybe he had pit on the lap prior, so it may have just been a pits. An out lap. Yep.
All right. We have just confirmed from our Skynet observance box that he did have a pretty significant off. No damage, no wall contact, no issues. Car is fine, but he did have an off track that has awarded him an additional 5 seconds on his last lap. So psychologically, Justin, Wyatt, we thought he was infallible, incapable, completely immune to all the pitfalls of a 2-hour race. But have we seen one here? Is he breaking down?
I don't know, Aaron. As you continue to call out his name, it is very possible. Wyatt. I remember calling a race prior and was just running his race about 30 seconds ahead and had an incident with a lapped car that ended up costing him the position, the race. So, like we've covered already, this guy is going to continue to push, and it doesn't always work out.
And wow. The last holdout. Everybody watching this race, you thought everyone had pitted. Untrue. Mark Burt, P2, is now in his pit box. He must have been running on fumes, canola oil, farts, Chipotle. I don't know what he was running on, but he is now in the pits after 51 laps. Halfway.
I believe I've seen the race at Daytona. Mark ran out of fuel, and sometimes you really want to run your race, and you kind of short fill a little bit, but as it turns out to be, you don't account for battling other drivers. And so you burn a little bit more fuel than you had accounted for.
Justin, I'm going to say something that may get me in trouble. He may have a better spreadsheet. Mark Burke, he may have a better spreadsheet than Tom Ellison.
Well, it'll certainly be interesting to see because as it looks right now, Thomas Ellison has the fuel. Alex Albert has the fuel. So, yeah, I mean, I can't imagine that they're going to have to take a pit at this point.
I mean, I hate to break it down into something as boring as Excel sheets, but it's like who has the better Excel sheet? And we have to keep in mind, Thomas Ellison's pit stop was 5 seconds quicker than Alex Albert. 5 seconds. That is probably a half a gallon worth of fuel, right?
Yeah, and a half a gallon is worth quite a number of laps. So, I mean, you do make a good point. Certainly Tom has done his effort to tow him behind Alex. So, running a 2:10.9, but I suspect with the power of the draft, able to do some fuel saving as well.
Well, and we've definitely talked about this. The Miata does punch a fair hole in the air, but this course, there's a lot of elevation changes where in this car, which is very momentum driven, you need to be on the gas a lot. Justin, where in the world is Tom saving fuel here if he needs to?
I have no idea. That fuel saving is something that I have never been able to master. So, typically it would be into turn 1. It would be into the last corner. You just have to lift and just coast through and then be late on the brakes. Some people can certainly make it work. You got the draft in front of you. Don't want to get too close. And at least I can only speak for myself, but when I have a car all over my mirror, I can definitely start feeling the pressure.
You know what, Justin? I'm going to do everybody a favor here, and I'm going to ride with Thomas Ellison in P3 to see if there's any sort of fuel-saving activity going on with that right foot. But to your point, I just don't think that Tom has it in his DNA to save fuel and pull back on that throttle. Tom is a go big or go home kind of guy, and like we talked about before, if Rapido gets behind the wheel, all bets are off.
Yeah, you certainly make a good point there. What I can tell now, he is just on it. I'd say Rapido was in the car for sure. So he must have his aggressive fuel fill. I mean, like we've already covered, he's certainly got the spreadsheets for him. So I'm going to have to guess that he feels confident that he has the fuel to make it to the end.
Justin, I'm gonna have to agree with you. I think that we are projecting doubt on Tom and his fuel strategy. We really don't know what's going on there. But I am watching that we've got Mark Burt behind Thomas Ellison. This is for position.
Oh yes, and as as we've talked about, when Alex Albert is slowing down a little bit, or just the power of the draft, Mark Burt's able to catch up to Tom Ellison, which it looks like clearly he has. We're gonna have a three-way fight for second place here.
This is absolutely a three-way fight, and I want to clarify, we are in the final minutes here. We are lap 53 with just a hair over 4 minutes left. And Justin, this is the time we were talking about. You've got the mental apathy, you're getting worn out, but you try to conserve your mental energy and your exertion for these final minutes here. These guys have just got a lap. Oh, we've got a big off for Tom.
Big off from Tom, yeah. So as you covered, this is people are going to get aggressive. Mark Burt is looking to make an advantage. All right, as we take you on board the official Dick Insider blimp.
We really have a great view of this uphill, left, right climb. These guys, careful there, Mark Burt.
Very, very close. And it looks like we got Alexander Crawford back on track in the street stock. So, yes, we can just see if he becomes an obstacle for these to this three-way battle.
Well, Justin, it really depends on what sort of spare parts. Does he have a Campbell's soup can in there running as a carburetor? Does he have an actual carburetor? It really depends on what kind of power he's generating at this point. But here goes Mark Burt making a move on Tom Ellison.
Oh boy, and this is what we're talking about. This is getting dicey towards the end. Last few minutes of the race. This is the time where you want to make it work. So. I would have thought that Mark would have been able to, avoid that last pit stop at the end there. But, clearly proving he has the pace to make it work. Going to start working on Alex Albert, but I'm sure Tom will not give up this position easily as he goes for the inside into turn one.
I think he's got a bit of draft. He's going to pull it. This is going to be a pretty wild T1.
Oh, and is this a little bit of teamwork? Oh, no. I thought Tom Ellison was going to be making a move on both of them on the inside.
And unfortunately, I'm watching Crawford here. Crawford has gone off. It appears his broomstick rack and pinion steering has fallen apart.
Just another day in the life of a street stock. So, kudos to him to getting that fixed, though, and back on the track.
Justin, this is a heck of a display of driving here. You know what? Mark Burt has had a heck of a recovery drive. He was battling for the top spot. He was battling. He was forward. He was back. He was forward. He was back. And now
it's too wide into the S's. One of the most dangerous sectors of the track for an overtake, and it looks like Alex is going to let him. No, he is going too wide. This is very, very impressive stuff. Mark is able to make it stick as they go through the kink. Gets a little bit off course. This is the stuff we were looking for.
Justin, but let's not forget how much is Tom Ellison waiting in the wings for something to happen here. I really think patience is a virtue here where you may redeem the victor. I just don't know. Too wide on the
Oh
backstretch.
my God! Here we go again. In the roller coaster, Alex is in the lead. Me on the inside. Oh, Mark not giving up yet. Runs him too wide. Going into Hogpen, this is what we're talking about. One of the most difficult sectors in the race.
I really thought Tom Ellison was going to try and give himself a really, really, really good run out of there. Unfortunately, Thomas Ellison got a terrible run out of the final sector to give himself an opportunity to possibly catch up to Albert.
Certainly a very frustrating for him.
Justin, I am seeing white flag. This is white flag lap. This is money or bust right here. And guess what? Crawford is catching up to these guys to add to the mix.
Do you think he's going to make it a little bit extra spicy with 4 wide?
I mean, if that broomstick rack and pin he has holds up, he may hold up to this and he may make it interesting on that backstretch. But if I was Crawford, if I was respectful, I'd hold back. But you don't know. You're
2 wide. Oh my God. Coming into the S's up here, and another close call. They really are going to have it out. I think one person might not be going back to the pits happy.
I think Alex Albert and Mark Burt maybe check their records at this point, but you know who's watching out for all of that is the patient, the quiet Thomas Rapido Ellison. We have to pay attention with how he's going to finish this race. Oh, here we go.
The King tries to go outside. Mark going off course again. Crawford in suit behind with his junkyard street stock. Okay, he's taking a tight line through Oak Tree. That's certainly going to cost him, I think.
Thomas Ellison got a fantastic run out of that corner.
Oh, I think this is where we're going to see the big overtake. Foster is across the finish line, but we continue on with this battle for P2 as Alex takes Mark Burt 2 wide in the roller coaster. Tom Ellison also got a great run out of Oak Tree, so this might be a 3 wide moment. He's almost trying to force the issue and backs off a little bit. Alex and Mark go 2 wide. Here we go. Hogpen, final corner. All in a row.
Alex Albert with an amazing, amazing run. Watch Thomas Ellison, Mark Bird. Thomas Ellison got a fantastic run. How much defense does Mark Bird have on top?
Oh, looking for the inside, but not going to have it. Oh, very close. 3rd place finish between Mark Burt and Thomas Ellison. That was great stuff. And, Crawford having a little bit of fun at the post-race.
Giving
Tom the Rapido boost.
No, you know what? That probably wasn't fun. Like he had loaf bread brake discs on there. That is not his fault. It was probably a mechanical failure. There's no way he would ever do that on purpose.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. Like you said, just tied together with shoestring and bubble gum. So.
Well, guys, that was a fantastic race in our final race of the ChampCar iRacing series. We have P1 Wyatt Foster, who is the absolute rock star of this race. Nobody else had anything for him. Wyatt Foster, a full 50 seconds ahead of the rest of the grid. Alex Albert, P2. Mark Burt, P3. Thomas Ellison, P4. Jay Sofiniak, P5, Corey Barrett, P6, Scott Crummell, P7, Benjamin Schott, P8, Aaron Thorpe, P9, Joseph Marr, P10, Alexander Crawford in the Piece Together Lego car street stock, P11, Chris Flamian in P12, Matthew Ragsdale, P13, and Brandon Guy rounding out the field in P14.
All right, and inside the booth we have 2nd place finisher Alex Albert.
Hi guys, how you doing?
Hey, doing pretty good. That was quite the exciting last few laps there. Talk us through it.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that I raced Mark clean. He had been fast all night, and so I had a lot of fun racing him. I just wanted to make sure I stayed off of him. I stuck my nose in a couple of places just to kind of make him nervous. I do want to apologize to Aaron Thorpe. I made a little. Didn't even show contact on my screen, but he spun in the kink, so I want to apologize to him.
Yeah, certainly. It's a difficult thing, you know. You were having their battle with was Corey. You guys were certainly trying to run your battle as well. So, all right. Is there anyone you want to give shout outs to?
Yeah, I just want to thank the whole Huge Ass team, and I'd like to thank the ChampCar management for putting on this league, putting up the prize, full race entry. I think it's pretty cool. I want to thank all the guys from Team Huge Ass. I want to thank you guys for doing the broadcast. Thank Tom for putting on the races, and thank all the competitors for coming out. Hopefully we can get a little bit bigger car count here for the second half of the season.
Agreed. And, we were covering earlier, no matter your pace, there's someone for you to race. So, yeah.
Oh yeah, it was a blast tonight. The 2-hour race with the multiple pit stops, it made it it just made it so much fun. I was watching the gap. I thought I would come out more clear of Bert than I did, but within a lap or so, Bert was right onto us. So yeah, great battle.
Yeah, we were definitely enjoying it here in the booth. So thank you so much.
Oh yeah, for sure. You guys are welcome. Thanks for coming out and commentating.
And so I think with that, we are ready to sign off here at the Team Huge Ass Broadcasting booth. Want to remind everyone again, if you are going to be out in the Virginia area, to come visit us down at the Virginia National Raceway on Saturday and Sunday, August 11th, 12th. We'll be in the Team Huge Ass trailer, the giant HJ on it. And yeah. Aaron, any final words from you?
Justin, it was an absolute pleasure broadcasting with you guys tonight. I mean, tons of fun. What a race. It's 2 hours, a 14-car field, but that doesn't mean there's not constant action on the track with the quality of drivers, the quality of track. This is so much fun. We really cannot wait to see a lot of you guys that watch this broadcast, a lot of you guys that participate in the forums, to see you in real life on the track here in a couple weeks. So please stop by the Huge Ass booth. Come say hi. Come say that you're part of the iRacing league. We'd love to see you guys and shake some hands and match some names to faces.
Yeah, agreed. And one last thought. It's a big shout out to our producer and brief commentator in the beginning there, Michael Derby, operating the cameras, talking in our ear and letting us know what you guys are watching. So, yeah, have a good rest of your Thursday night.